Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 61 Ranger Guide, the top DPS spec at ranged for rogues as of patch 2.5. So with this spec, which is fairly easy to play, you can be topping the DPS meters from range. Just be warned as a rogue that melee specs are significantly better, but if you cannot get in melee or are afraid to go in melee due to the fact that you can't avoid cleaves, or maybe you've got a dodgy tank that likes to spin the boss around a lot, this is the build for you. So the build is fairly straightforward: 61 Ranger, 12 Assassin, 3 Nightblade. Any questions about that, pop them in the comments and I'll get Gary on to answer it, because he initially wrote the guide for this and I'm basically just making it into a video because I know how much people don't like to read and they'd rather have an English man talking about how to play the spec so they don't have to do that. So anyway, it's fairly straightforward. Now what you have to do, the self buffs that you want up, they're Ravenous Instincts, Feral Instincts, Leeching Poison, Virulent Poison, and Spirit of the Wilderness. And once you've got them all up, you are essentially ready to go. Now, during all times, the most important thing to keep up on sort of the target is an ability known as Ace Shot. Basically, this increases the damage taken from you by 8% and from your pet by 40%. So you want to make sure that stays up on the target at all times. Now, the next thing you have to possibly keep up on the target is Splinter Shot. Now, that's a bleed that lasts 10 seconds, and it's a DPS increase to use it if it lasts longer than 8 seconds. So by that I mean if the target's going to die within sort of 5 seconds, do not use it. If it's going to, you know, on a standard raid boss fight, you'll want to refresh it every 10 seconds, but you don't want to refresh it while it's already on. So as soon as it falls off, you can refresh it again. The third thing, which is kind of optional, you shouldn't be using this in a raid environment because the Archon and Bard has got it, is Piercing Shot. Now, if you're alone or passing, then you will want to use Piercing Shot because it's a DPS increase overall, because it's only slightly worse. And the next thing to use is Shadow Fire, and then Quick Shot. Now, those are all your builder abilities, essentially. In regards to your finishers, what you'll want to do is every minute you want to use Headshot, which gives you a 5% damage increase. Apart from that, every finisher you should be using Twin Shot. Okay, so it's simple enough for the finishers. So basically you need to incorporate this all together to at a very fast pace to basically do your DPS, and every 30 seconds you'll have these two cooldowns called Animalism and Feral Aggression, which increase your damage and your pet's damage by a really significant amount. So you want to use them together, and let me just bring up the parser so we can use. So you macro them together. If you're using this spec by yourself on a dummy, you're going to be moderately energy starved, as you can probably see here, just due to the fact that this spec does rely on having either a Chloro or a Bard, and having living energy, or the verse of, I forgot, but it reduces the cost of your energy abilities. So, as you can see here, I'm really scruffily doing the rotation because I am trying to record and talk, and I really do suck at playing while, talking. So, what I'm doing is, when I don't have any other thing to, combo point ability to use, I just use Quick Shot. Apart from that, I'm basically using stuff off cooldown and when it needs to be reapplied. So basically, guys, if you sit by the dummies, it's going to take you probably about 5 minutes to get into this rotation, even less actually. It's pretty straightforward. This build can also be used as a fairly good build for soloing, as you have a few abilities like Divert Rage, which means that all your aggro can go onto your pet, and your pet can tank stuff, and also whenever your pet attacks, you'll get an healed from Spirit of the Wilderness. Now, this is probably a really appalling guide of how to actually play the spec, and there are various ways to min-max in certain circumstances. Just beware that the only sort of downside to the spec in comparison to Marksman, because this does about 30 to 50% more than Marksman if played properly, is that you don't have a Purge and you don't have a reliable interrupt, because the only interrupt in this spec is an ability called Concussion Blast, and that requires combo points to use. So yeah, any questions about the build, guys? If you think I've kind of sucked at explaining it, please do let me know, and I will clear anything up that you need to. The macro for Animalism and Feral Aggression will be in the comment of this video, and as well as the spec, and I'll leave a few hints and tips and whatnot. So thank you once again for watching, and hope you enjoyed the guide. Like it, subscribe, show it to your bad rogues, say look, you should be playing the spec and you can be a bit better, and yeah, take care and have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Predominantly gentlemen that watch this. I've seen the YouTube statistics. Take care.